All right, perfect. So tonight we have the first session of how to dominate Black Friday in the winter shopping season. And we'll be having a second session, the same webinar on Saturday, October 1st. But this is the first run, so I'm going to need all the feedback I could possibly get. But we're just going to jump right into things. So a little bit about me. I have my bachelor's degree in business administration as of May of this year. I'm a certified digital marketer from HubSpot, so I did complete their course and get the certification, which is good until next year. And then I'll have to recertify. Then I own multiple businesses, both product and service based. So I have experience in both lanes. I'm not afraid to shake up the norm, and I love music, dancing, and fashion, which are all going to be super important for this because this is how I have built my knowledge aside from what I've learned in school. But yes, so that's just a little bit about me, who I am as a person, and what you're kind of getting in the webinar. So now we'll kind of jump into what you expect to learn today. So today's webinar, I'm going to use the PowerPoint to sort of guide us and to give you the key points in a visual form, but I'll basically be talking a little bit to you about 4 major lessons. So basically lesson 1 is about setting goals and clear goals so that we know that where we're going for Black Friday, what's successful, what's not. So we kind of have a compass as to what we expect for Black Friday. And then I'm going to move into lesson 2, which is how to audit your business to figure out what's working and what doesn't work so that we know how close or how far or whatever the case may be when it comes to our goals. What do we have now that we can use to get to our goals? Lesson 3 is about how every customer touch point is a chance to market your business. So after you audit your business, you'll essentially be able to expose points that your customer is coming in contact with you, but you may not be doing that well, and how we can improve upon those points so that when Black Friday comes around, we're not just getting the one-time buy on Black Friday, but we're also getting the year-long sales. And then lesson 4 is something that I continue to go back to. So we have people here that have attended my Stay in Your Zone of Genius webinar that I did, my very first webinar. But lesson 4 talks about automation and delegation and how you can focus on growth. So essentially, we're going to walk through goal setting, auditing, then what you're going to do to get to those goals, and then what you can use to achieve those goals. So what are you going to do yourself? What are you going to automate? And what are you going to delegate to somebody else? So that's basically the webinar in a nutshell, and we're going to jump right into it. Any questions you can drop into the chat. I will try my best to answer them during the webinar, but I will definitely answer them at the end during the Q&A session. Only expect to have you for about 30 minutes because it's going to be quick, concise, and to the point. And then we'll open up the last 30 minutes for Q&A or whatever questions you have about dominating Black Friday. So the first lesson, right, was about goals. And why this is important is because when it comes to what is successful and maybe a failure, quote unquote, in your business really has to do with your goals and the goals that you're setting for yourself. So with that being said, when it comes to goal setting and why it's important is we don't know what we're headed towards in Black Friday if we don't start with our goals. So our goals are going to keep us on the right track. And that's super important in business because you need to set your goals for your company, your life, and yourself. So it's very easy to just mimic what you see on Instagram, what you see going on in businesses around you, or to even take a friend's advice. But to be honest, you're the only person that probably knows your business the way that you do. So you're the only person capable of setting goals and determining if something was successful or not within your business. So this is super, super important for Black Friday so that we're not just all over the place when it comes to Black Friday, right? So that we're headed towards one specific thing in mind. So I'm going to break down why I say that. So basically, we break down our sales goals, right? So at the end of the day, you started a business to make money. Of course, we have things that we want to do to satisfy our own needs or our wants to help other people. But at the end of the day, money is really why you, not really why you got into it, but a big part of why you got into it. So you want to make the impact in the sales. So with that comes finding out how much, like how many sales, how many dollars do you need to determine if you're successful. And that's why it's important that you look into your business and what everything is catered to you and your goals. So with that being said, the first goal that we want to set is our sales goals in dollars, which I think is the easiest goal for you to set. So you're going to sit down and you're going to write out your monthly business expenses. So that's going to be basically what you need to keep your business operable. So if you have a Canvas subscription, if you have your internet, your lights, any pencils and pens you have to buy, what are some fees or some expenses that you have every month in order to keep your business afloat? So that's the first number that you need to know to determine your sales goal. And then the second number you need to know is your monthly income goal. How much money are you trying to make from this business? All the time on Instagram, I'm seeing people say, oh, make 6 figures, make 7 figures, make 8 figures, quit your job. But people start businesses for different reasons. So if you want your business to be your full-time thing, then you need to determine how much per month do you need to get from this business for this business to be something that you can continue to do full-time. If your business is a side hustle, you need to determine how much money you're looking to make in order to supplement that full-time income that you already have. So everything is super personal to you and your business. So first number, their monthly business expenses. What fees and expenses do you have to keep your business running? So make sure you tally up those Canvas subscriptions, those Zoom subscriptions, make sure any marketers that you hire, make sure that you're including all of that into your monthly business expenses. Then jump down into your income goal. How much do you need to make? And be realistic with that number. And then jump into your business savings. Every business, just like every person, should have little savings that give you a little wiggle room in those times where your business goes up and down. That's the thing that a lot of people do not talk about when it comes to running a business. People don't talk about the fact that slow periods are normal. Think about if I ran an ice cream shop. Obviously, in the wintertime, I'm going to have a slow period. So I need to make a business decision based off of my business model. So some ice cream shops decide to close their doors down during the winter. Some ice cream shops might decide to serve cookies and ice cream during the winter or something else, or maybe they transition to a s'more shop in the winter. Like, you have to make the decision for your business. So now we have all of these numbers, which are completely personal to you. The only person who can answer those questions are you, right? Or someone who is deeply involved in your business. You have your monthly expenses, you have your income goal, and you have your business savings. You're going to take those 3 numbers and add them up. And that's going to tell you how much revenue you need to make. Now, this is important because this goal is going to help you cover your bills for your business. It's going to help you pay yourself, and it's going to help you put a little bit away in the event that we have those slow seasons or something happens unexpectedly, like your computer stopped working, so you need to buy a new computer. That is going to help you build a little wiggle room. These numbers are completely personal to you and your business. So it's important that you're taking your business into consideration and not just plugging in any numbers for any business. Make sure they're personal to your business. So that's the first goal you're going to find. How much money do you need to make each month in order to cover your business expenses, pay yourself, and save a little? So that's the first goal you're going to find that's going to help you with Black Friday. Then we're going to find our next goal, which piggybacks off of our last goal. So this is what we call a monthly sales goal in dollars. So once you have all of that, I know it can be a lot of math, but this so far is just addition. Just add up those 3 numbers and it will give you how much you need to make per month in dollars. But we need to figure out, okay, let's say you want to make $400 in sales per month. We need to figure out what that is practically. So this is where we find our sales goals in units. So that's going to tell us how many orders we need placed in order to make that $400 in sales goals. So you're going to take that number you found from the last equation. So after you add up your expenses, your income, and your savings, and you're going to divide that number by either the price of your product if you only have one product, or the price of your service, or your average order value. If you have Shopify, they will tell you that number automatically. But in the event that you don't have a website that helps you find out what an average order value is, which is essentially how much someone spends every time they shop with you, you're going to take how much money you typically make and divide it by the number of orders you make in a month. So that's going to give you your average order value, but you can use the price of your product. So let's say for Black Friday, you know that in the month of November, you want to make $400 in sales. And you know that you sell a $10 ebook. And that's the product that you're focused on for Black Friday. Ooh, I don't know what that was or how I did that, but that's the number you want to focus on for Black Friday and for the month of November. So you have this product that you're focused on, and you're really going to make sure that people are buying this product. You're going to generate demand, which we'll talk about later. So if you have $400 in sales, your book is $10. You're going to divide 400 by 10, and that's going to tell you that you need to sell 40 books. So that's going to tell you need 40 people, or you need to have 20 people buy 2 books. Like, it's going to tell you that you need to sell 40 books. So not only do you know I need $400 in sales, I need to sell 40 books. So that's saying some of the same things, but the numbers are going to be important because we're going to use them later on for determining some of our other goals. So like I said, at any point, stop me, or by dropping your question in the chat. I'm going to try to answer in the chat questions as they pop up. If I can't answer them then, I'll leave them into the Q&A. But this is our first 2 goals. Our sales goals are super, super, super important. But then that moves us into a little bit more complicated math, but don't be overwhelmed. Feel free to pull out your phone and take pictures of the slide. But it's going to break down an entire equation for you. So now that we have our sales goal, right? That's how much money we want to make. Now we need to set marketing goals in order to reach those sales goals. So think about it like this. Marketing is how you're going to generate demand, how you're going to get the people to the door, how you're going to get the people to buy, right? So you can have a lot of supply, you can order more inventory, you can make more books, you can make more booking appointments available on your calendar. That's your supply. But your supply is just how much you have to give. It's not how many people want what you're giving. Marketing is what's going to bridge the gap, and that's where the sale is going to happen. So you have your supply, your ebook, whatever you're selling. Now it's time to build demand. So we know how much we need to sell, right? So we know we need to sell 40 books in this case. Now we need to build demand so that 40 people will want to buy books so that you can hit that sales goal. So it all kind of works together. I don't believe in making all these separate kind of things in your business. How can they all work together? Because that's what I call efficiency. So the 2 goals you're going to have for marketing, right? So you have your goal in dollars. So you know you want to make $400. You have your goal in units. So you know you need to sell 40 books. So to make $400, you need to sell 40 books. But we need to determine how much demand do we need to generate in order to sell those 40 books. And so the 2 things we're going to determine is how many people we need to reach. So this is commonly called brand awareness. You might see this in your Instagram analytics, or how many people need to view your content. So that's just how many eyes do you need on your content? Because there's this thing called the conversion rate in marketing. Every person that looks at your content will not be a customer. They will not buy. In a perfect world, they will, but realistically, about 1% of people that see your content buy. And this is why reach is important. Because if 1%, typically a lot of businesses starting out start at about 1% conversion rates. So if only 1% of people actually come and buy after seeing your content, and only 1 person has seen your content, let's say only 1 person saw your content on Instagram this month. Well, 1% of 1 pretty much is 0. Like, you're really putting all your eggs into one basket and hoping that that 1 person just happens to want to be a customer. So hold on, I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, but you're really hoping that that one person will want to be a customer. And now, with that being said, the idea is to get more people to see your content, right? But not just anybody seeing your content. You want the people who are most likely to buy to see your content. So this is where your target audience will come into play. And the better you are at finding your target audience, the more your conversion rate will go up. So most people, when they're starting out, at about 1%. But there are a lot of companies that have 5% of people, 10% of people, 20% of people that when they see their commercial, when they see their advertisement, when they see their social media content, they go ahead and buy. Now, with that being said, one of the best ways that we can measure who is most likely to buy, right, is probably the people who are already subscribed to some sort of list that you have, because they want to know more about you or hear from you off of social media outside of advertising outside of the pop-up shop. So they're going to visit your website or subscribe to your email list. So the way I like to think about it is I first came across the brand Fashion Nova on Pinterest. Now, at first, I would just save the pins of the outfits on my Pinterest. But when I finally got ready to buy, I started to go on the website and see if I can find what I saw on Pinterest. Now, this was a long time ago, like maybe 2015, 2016. I went to decide to see if I can find what I saw on Pinterest, to see if I wanted to buy it. And when I got on the website, I looked through the reviews, which we'll talk about more later. And then when I saw, hey, I can get a 10% off coupon by putting my email in, I knew that I was more than likely going to buy. So why not put my email in and get the coupon? So that's already telling you how the brain of a customer works. First, they reached me with that content they were posting on Pinterest. Then I went to visit their website and even subscribed to their email list, and ultimately ended up using that 10% off coupon to buy at a later date. So the way I like to think about it is reach is just how many people are looking at the content, just looking. And then how many people visit your website or subscribe to your email list. Those are the people who are like almost ready to buy. Like they're right there. And by saying the right thing and getting the right message across to these people, you can push them to buy sooner rather than later. So going back to everything we just did to wrap that up, bring it all home. You first start off by finding your sales goals in dollars. So the example I used was I want to make $400. That's what I need to cover my expenses, pay myself, and to save a little bit for my business. Then I take that $400 and I determine how many sales is that? How many items or how many services do I actually need to sell to make that $400? In this case, we need to sell 40 books. Now, in order to sell 40 books, I need to determine two goals. How many people do I need to reach? And how many people do I need to visit my website in order to make it most likely that I will sell those 40 books? So this is where the math kind of comes in. So reach is the number of people, like I said, that will see your ads, right? And I said most people start off at about a 1% conversion rate. So that means the people who see your ad, about 1% of those people will actually visit your website or will actually subscribe to your email list, right? And then from the people who visit your website, about 1% of them will actually go and buy. So reach is probably going to be, you want to get your reach, you want to maximize that. You want to reach as many people as possible. This is why people use social media. People use social media because you can share content, you can post as much as you want for free. It's a great tool to reach more people. When you're not posting on social media, you're not interacting with your customers, you're not going out and networking, you're not attending pop-up shops, effectively, your reach for the month is zero. When you start posting, sharing content, uploading ads, going to pop-up shops, going to networking events, the amount of people who you are reaching goes up. So what you want to do is when you reach those people, you want to push those people over to your website. Sales don't happen on Instagram right now. They don't happen on Facebook. They happen on your website or through emails because you can place a direct link that will take them to a product. So with that being said, you want to maximize your reach. so that you can maximize the number of website visits. When you maximize those two things, that's what's going to make you likely to hit that sales goal. So the key to Black Friday is putting yourself in a position to maximize that reach and maximize your website visits. So you want to make sure that you're putting the links on your post, that you're directing people to your website. You're making it clear what people can find on your website. You're making it clear what people can find on your email list, and that you're actually posting on a consistent basis to maximize that reach. So if you want, take a picture of this screen, and this also allows for you to work backwards, right? So if I can multiply website visits times 1% to get orders and bookings, then if you want to find how many website visits you need to get those 40 books, you would do 40 divided by 1%. And that will tell you how many website visits. Once you find how many website visits, you can divide that number by 1%, and that will tell you how many views, right? So this math allows for you to work backwards and forwards. So anything you want to undo, you just do the opposite math operation. So if we multiply views times conversion rate to get website visits, if I want to find website visits, I divide, I would do that equation. If I want to find reach, I would divide by 1% instead of multiplying. Hope that makes sense. That was the part I was most nervous about with the math, but I hope that breaks it down. Now, at this point, you should know 4 things: your sales goal in dollars, your sales goals in units, how many people you need to reach, and how many website visits. This is where auditing comes in, because you're basically going to determine what you've done in the past to see how far off you are from those numbers. So let's say for the past 3 quarters, right? So from January of this year until now, you've only been able to make $20 in sales per month. Well, then that tells you that we may need to either change something about your marketing strategy or completely scrap it and get a new one. So what is your business telling you? What position is your business in right now? How close are you to hitting that sales goal currently? So with everything you've been doing currently, are you able to get to $400 in sales? Have you been doing that already? Are you able to get to those 40 books sold? Are you able to get to that amount of people reached? Are you able to get to that amount of people visiting your website? So that's where auditing comes in. Now, some common areas to audit and what you're going to look for. So you definitely want to go through all of your social media profiles and determine, are followers even active? When you post, are people engaging with your content? Are you noticing that your content is reaching people, right? Those are going to be some things you're going to look for. You're going to go through the links in your bio. You're going to make sure they actually work and that they're actually taking people to where they need to go. You're going to go through your profile pictures and all of that. You're going to delete information that is not relevant anymore. You're going to delete information that is outdated, or that does not show a track record of something. So, I might leave up my How to Dominate Black Friday flyers because I want people to see that this is a webinar that I host, and I'm going to host it again next year. But if you changed your service offerings or you completely rebranded your business, you want to go ahead and start phasing out some of that old stuff on your social media. Your website, you want to check your product descriptions, check your pictures, make sure your product catalog is up to date. If the thing is out of stock, take it off the site, right, for Black Friday, because there's nothing more disheartening than seeing something on social media and then you go to the website and it's out of stock. So it makes you feel like, Now, the only reason I would not take something out of stock is if it is a staple. I wouldn't take it off the website if it's a staple. What I would do instead was set up a way for customers to put in their email so that when it gets when you replenish the inventory or when you have more availability, you can just email them that the thing that they wanted is back in stock. So if you're not going to have some sort of email flow set up to remind people when things come back in stock, just take it down for now and put it back up when the inventory is replenished. And then you also want to make sure that you're checking your policies. Check your policies. So your return policies, your exchange policies, refunds, shipping policies, check all of that. Make sure to include information that to expect delays during the holiday season. Be completely transparent. And then you want to check your email list. You want to delete any emails that keep bouncing back. Because the more emails of yours that bounce back, the more likely Google is to report you as spam, and you're going to go to people's spam folders. So take those emails off of people who, when you email them, it just bounced right back to you. And then some common areas. So that was areas you can audit within your marketing. Social media, website, and email are crucial. But some common areas you want to audit in your business is your financing, your accounting. So have you been keeping track of how much money you made, how much money you're spending? Are you noticing that you're spending more money than you make? You want to make sure you're keeping track of your bookkeeping to stay tax compliant. Then you want to look through maybe your customer service. Do you have an email set up if someone wants to contact you when they have a problem? Are there any customers that emailed you that you haven't gotten back to yet? You want to go ahead and clear out those inquiries now while you have the time before Black Friday gets here. And then you also want to review your internal processes. So if you're someone that accepts clients, like a service-based business, so hairstylist, or even a digital-based business, so someone like me who's a marketing consultant, you want to look through how your clients book with you and what goes on after they book. Is it clear and transparent what your policies are? Is it seamless? Is it easy for your customer to go through? And if you're a product-based business, you want to look through how you package and ship your products. So you can go in and you can ask your customers what their experience is like after getting their products shipped to them. Like, are they noticing that things are coming damaged? Are they noticing that the box is all torn up? Do you need to put a fragile sticker on your box? So you want to go through and audit that and making sure that you're hitting all your bases. Essentially super quick, but auditing can be broken down into 4 simple steps. So in each of these areas, you can do each of these steps. You can send a survey to your customer, or people who did not buy, and ask them why they didn't buy. You review your website traffic. So is your website, a lot of Wix and Shopify will tell you you had 5 people visit your website from Instagram. So you can review that and kind of figure out what social media platforms are working best for you. And then you can keep moving from there. So if you notice most of your traffic is coming from Instagram, keep nurturing Instagram because it's working. You want to review all your social media platforms, go into your insights, which you can find on an Instagram business account, a Facebook business account, any platform, Pinterest, YouTube. You want to set it up as a business account so you can see your analytics, TikTok. And then you just want to go through the people who have ordered from you before. Did they order a certain type of day? Did you notice people ordered on the weekends versus on the weekdays? Did you notice that they ordered at 5 p.m. versus 5 a.m.? And what kind of people were buying from you? Is it mostly women, mostly men? Is it mostly people who seem to be like younger? Like, try to find patterns in the orders that you already have. Use the data that you already have. Even if you're just starting out, if you've made at least 5 orders at any point in time in your business, look at the people who ordered from you and what they were going through. Did they all share the same thing? Did they come to you because they said, hey, I'm just in over my head about this, or hey, I'm just so stressed? Like, why did they come to you? And try to jot down and find similarities between that. And then you can use that to your advantage. So if people come to your business because you help them save time, well, when it comes to Black Friday, that's what you're going to push. Hey, we can help shave 30 minutes off of your morning routine, or whatever the case may be. So auditing, send surveys, review your website, review your socials, and review the data you already have. Simple as that. But it's just a lot of review and reflect. That's all auditing is, which takes us to our next point, and we're nearing the end of the webinar. So it's been a lot, but essentially, you're going to take your sales goals, which are, in dollars and units, to make your marketing goals. which are how many people you need to reach and how many people you need to visit your website. Then you're going to audit your business to determine what you're already doing, what's working, what you need to throw away. You can even take the framework, what do I need to stop? What do I need to continue? And what do I need to start to help guide you? This will take you to investigate more about your customer. So when you audit your business and you're finding maybe some gaps or maybe something that you can strengthen even more, think about your customer when you're doing it, not yourself. And this is where this piece kind of complements the auditing piece. So it's a lot on the screen, but I want you to pay attention to really customers go through 3 phases. They go from not knowing about you to kind of interested to buying. So when they don't know about you, those are called potential customers. Those are the people that you want to reach. These are also called prospects. The way that you'll reach them is through ads, social media, posting customer reviews, customer pictures. You can host free events. You can print out flyers and business cards, hand them out to people at your grocery store, put them on community bulletin boards. You can attend networking events and pass them out. You can pass them out at pop-up shops. You can promote yourself in that way. Google search results, so you can get a website up and running and put information that someone will be searching for on your website to get on Google. Or referrals. Hey girl, I got this dope shirt from this girl that I saw on Instagram. I thought you might like it. Here you go. That's a referral. So that's what you're going to do. So when you notice, let's say you audit, right? Let's say you need to reach 100 people to make your goal. And you audit and you find out you've only been reaching 5 people. You're going to pick something off of this list to focus on for Black Friday. So are you going to run an ad to reach those other 95 people? Are you going to post more social media content to reach those other 95 people? Are you going to host a free event to reach those other 95 people? So you're going to pull from that list to boost and maximize your reach. Now, almost ready to buy people are also known as leads. This is also where people say nurture your audience, right? You'll hear a bunch of that. This is the point where people have seen your ad, they've seen your content, and they go to your website to find more information. Now, if you're noticing 100 people visit my website, nobody buys. If you're noticing, even the fact that even if you notice, hey, only one person is buying my website, but I see through my website's analytics that they're only staying on my site for a minute. That might tell you, hey, they didn't find the information they were looking for, so they just clicked off of it. So try to put yourself in the shoes of the customer. And when you go to someone's website, you're probably looking for customer reviews, pictures, sizing guides, a place to book consultations. You might even be looking for some blogs or some just more information about the product. So if you think in the mind of a customer, take that and turn it into what you need to do as a business owner. So as a business owner, you need to post customer reviews and testimonials, update your product descriptions, update your product pictures, put your best foot forward. I'm not saying that you have to have it all together and look like you've been running this business for the past 15 years. What I'm saying is give your best foot and be as professional as you can possibly be in this moment, in this time, with the resources that you have. So what kind of blogs do you need to post? What is someone going to be looking for on Black Friday? Think about why people shop on Black Friday. They shop for deals. Sometimes people do holiday shopping if they celebrate. Sometimes people have been waiting all year to get this one thing and they were hoping that it was on sale for Black Friday. Sometimes people just shop on Black Friday just because they know it's a shopping day. So if you can understand those things about your customers, what do you need to give them on your website or on your email list that will make them feel prepared to buy? I always recommend make sure you have sizing guides, make sure you have pictures. If you have something that's wearable, make sure you are showing different kinds of models. Make sure you show your product in different settings. So if you sell a book, show your product on a bookshelf, show your product in the hands of someone who will read it. Show your product in a place where a book might be left when that person puts the book down. So if, let's say, the person, you know that your target audience likes to read books while they drink their coffee, you might want to show your book next to a coffee cup in your product pictures. You might want to put in your product description the perfect book to cuddle up with your morning cup of coffee. You might want to say those things in your product description to make your customer feel like you know them. And that's what's going to push them to be customers. But your work is not done. Because think about when you buy something, right? What do you expect from it? So if it's something you got to put together, you need a manual. If it's something that is new, something that is not intuitive, like, hey, I put my toothpaste on my toothbrush, right? We kind of have been programmed to know what to do with the tube of toothpaste. If it's not something that's intuitive like that, you might also need a manual, or you need to show them a how-to video. So think about that when you're thinking about your customer. What can you send them in an email that might help them better understand or use their product? So that might look like sending those how-to videos in an email. So setting up an email flow that as soon as someone buys this, they get a how-to video in their email. Appointment reminders. If you are someone that takes client bookings, appointment reminders are major, because people do forget that they set appointments, and you may even have to remind them, hey, your appointment is at 3 p.m. on October 2nd. Please expect to arrive 15 minutes before to fill out paperwork. Think about that. Think about if you want to return something. And it doesn't even mean something's wrong with your products. It just might not be the product for that person. Or maybe when they got it, it arrived damaged. What do you want them to do when that happens? So do you want them to understand that you have a return policy? If so, you need to send that to them after they buy, or put information about it in their packaging. If you don't accept refunds and returns, you still need to tell someone that, hey, this is final sale. So include that information in the email. And lastly, don't forget to ask your customers for feedback. Ask them what they thought about the product. What did they think about the process? What do they think about how their product arrived? This is not only going to help you as a business owner to be able to improve your business even after Black Friday, but it's going to make your customer feel like you actually care, like you actually want to take the step to understand what they're going through and what they need from you. So this is going to set you apart from other people, especially big corporations that don't have the time, or they're like so big that they don't relate to the person. So that's going to help you major. And yeah. Oh, and also tell people that their order is on the way. Don't have people guessing about where their stuff is. Send them a tracking number. Make sure that it's the right tracking number and that they have information about where their stuff is. So yeah, those are some common touch points. And to bring it all home, like I said, we are nearing the end, but to bring it all home, this is just a brief example of what you can do. And I wanted to include what you can do to keep yourself organized. So if you want to make this in your notebook, or if you like Excel or Google Sheets or Airtable, which I highly recommend Airtable, you set this up where you put your questions on the left-hand side, and on the top, you're going to label the columns so if you have different social media platforms, if you have an email marketing system, if you have a text message marketing system, if you have a blog, if you have a website, whatever the customer is going to come in contact with. So if it's your return portal, whatever the case may be, go ahead and organize it in Excel, and then write a question on the left-hand side, and go ahead and tell me how you're going to answer that question on each of those platforms. That's what's going to keep you organized. So as you can see in this example, and I even broke it down even further and said, hey, YouTube and Instagram is where my potential customer is, but my email list and my blog is where my almost ready to buy customer is. And then once my customer buys, then they get into email flows, right? So then after they buy, I send them a thank you email. So you can see here where I have a question. What does your product or service do for me is a question my customer might have. And to answer it on YouTube, I posted a 5-minute video showing my products in action, or a how-to video, right? On Instagram, I posted a 30-second how-to reel, maybe that I took clips of my YouTube video to make that reel and put it on Instagram. In my email blast for all of my people on my email list, I sent them a before and after picture, because that answers what does my product or service do for them. Answer that question first and foremost. And then maybe I wrote a blog about the benefits of my product, right? And then maybe I tagged my YouTube video to that blog. So you see how I could literally take a 5-minute YouTube video, break it down into a 30-second reel, and then maybe post that video on my blog and write a short paragraph about the video. So this is how we're going to repurpose content so we don't burn ourselves out while still answering customer questions. So that's a little snippet that I added at the last minute, because I wanted you to understand that it's easy to stay organized when you build the proper systems and you know how you're going to attack it. So take what questions does your customer have, and then how will you answer that on each platform? And then that lastly brings me to the very end of the webinar, which is basically how you're going to get this done. So there are some things that you're probably going to do yourself, right? Especially if you're like a one-man band, solopreneur. But then there are also some things that you're like, I just don't want to do it. Like, I just don't like it. Rather not. I have better things to do in my life. So that's where automation and delegation are going to come in. So automation is, I think I have a slide for it. Yep. What's the difference? So automation is using tech or apps, websites to get the job done. Delegation is hiring somebody, or getting an intern, or taking volunteers, or maybe recruiting your kids or a family member to help you. That's delegation. Either way you put it, automation or delegation, ultimately means less work for you, which means that during this time, you can go Black Friday shopping if that's what you want to do. You can sleep in, you can enjoy your family, whatever the case is, because you've either automated the tasks that you hate or take you too long to do, or you've delegated them. Now, this is not really a teaching point, but these are my recommendations. So Airtable. Airtable is free to use. You literally type in airtable.com, and it is an easier version of Excel and Google Sheets. It's literally drag and drop. You don't have to know all of the fancy stuff to go in Google Sheets. I'm sorry, hold on. You don't have to know all of the fancy stuff, but you do just have to know what you want it to do. So if you want Airtable to display a name, you literally click a button that says name, type in the name. So Airtable is super simple. The other great thing about it is they let you set up forms that people can fill out, and it automatically puts them into an Excel style spreadsheet for you, so you can keep it organized. So for those customer feedback surveys, you might want to create them on Airtable. Then you'll have a spreadsheet of all the answers already automated for you, right? So only thing you got to do is set it up on Airtable and send the link out to your email list. Airtable can handle the rest for you. Calendly, if you are a service provider in any way, shape, or form, nails, hair, marketing, virtual assistant, I don't care, tutor, whatever, if you're, please get a booking link. Calendly is free. You set it up to connect to your Google Calendar, and then you're going to put any events you have in your Google Calendar, even if it's like pick the kids up from school, or making dinner, or spending time with the family. You put all of those events in your Google Calendar. Calendly will take the gaps in your life and allow for customers to book when you're available. So if you only want to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, but you have different things going on throughout the day, Calendly will automatically sync up to your calendar and people can book. I use Calendly for everything, even for meetings where it's like, hey, I really want to connect with you and get you on my podcast. You got to go to my Calendly. Like, that's the only way I can keep my life organized is Calendly and Google Calendars. And then Metrical, once again, free. All of these resources are either apps or websites, and they all have free accounts and they're free to use. Metricool allows for you to automate all of your posts on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, all of that. All of your social media platforms you could be on can be all in one spot, and you can automate them for when you want them to post. The other cool thing about Metricool is that it will show you the times when your audience is most active on each of those platforms. You can get your post automated and ready to go before November even gets here using Metricool, and it's free to use. And you can even set Metricool up to track your website traffic. So that same way that I told you you needed to document how many people are visiting your website, you can track all of that with Metricool, as well as you can track how many people you reach with Metricool. They will tell you how many people you reached on Instagram, how many people you reached on Facebook, and what that means for your company. So all of that can be tracked right in Metricool. It's a free account, as well as I can send you, there's a blog coming out that will have a link that will help you even be able to have some of the paid benefits that I get as a marketer. So all of these things, I will be sending out a link right after the website. So you can go right after the webinar, so you can go right to this website and set up your accounts. And then lastly, delegation. These are ones that I personally recommend. An accountant or a bookkeeper will save your life. That was the first person I delegated to because I did not want to be worried about the IRS, taxes, or anything else. I found an accountant that was within my price range and that also had the expertise that I needed. And she's really helpful because she allowed for me to see what areas of my business I was spending more money in than making money. So was my business actually profitable? She was great with that. So that might be something to consider to hire. A virtual assistant can manage that Calendly and make sure you're making all of your appointments and you aren't overbooked. They can also respond to those customer inquiries that you might get in your customer email for customer service. There's different virtual assistants, and then a customer experience expert. I don't care if your service or product based, having someone specifically focus on the areas within your business where your customers touch that business, that is really important because now you don't have to do it. You don't have to do research on what customers expect because they do it. And I have a particular agency that I work with. KVA Agency is an excellent customer experience expert agency. She manages pretty much from A to Z where your customer would touch your business and how you can improve as a business. And she offers audits currently. So she offers one-time audits where she will review your business from A to Z and tell you where to improve upon your customer experience in order to make more sales. Yes, so that's the end of the webinar. And I hope that that was super helpful. So by the end of this webinar, you should be able to calculate your monthly sales goals and use them to make your marketing goals. So sales in dollars, sales in units, reach, and website visits. Those are the 4 goals that you're going to need to attack Black Friday. Then you want to audit your business to find weaknesses and improve upon them quickly. The business that takes too long to pivot or improve will be the business left behind. Then you want to make sure that every part of your business that touches your customer, that you're making a great impression, because every part of your business is a chance to market yourself. If you have bad customer service, that's bad marketing. If you have bad social media content, that's bad marketing. If you have bad product delivery, that's bad marketing. If I'm waiting 45 minutes to be served, that's bad marketing. So you want to make sure every part of your business, it has the customer first, so you can improve upon those weaknesses by taking that customer first mindset. And then to make Black Friday so that you can dominate Black Friday without killing yourself or overworking yourself, you want to automate, delegate, and simplify. So essentially, this has been a webinar that's had a lot of gems, but I hope that I could break them down in a really straightforward way so that you can go from goals to auditing to a plan and to how you're going to execute it So this is the end of the webinar. Feel free to use the hashtag the Hustle Lab taught me to post this screen on your Instagram to show that you've been at the webinar. And then you can definitely get in contact with me through my website. You can call the business phone, you can email me, and then I also have remote and in-person consultations and meetings available. But the super fun part about this is because you've attended tonight's webinar, you get a special code. So you're going to use the code DOMINATE to get a $50 strategy call. So that's going to take about $149 off of your strategy call, where we can work one-on-one specifically on those customer touch points that you want to maximize, or that you want to improve upon in order to maximize reach and then maximize those purchases. So that's everything for the How to Dominate Black Friday. And now I am going to stop sharing my screen and answer questions. What is Airtable? Did I answer your question about Airtable? Let me turn this recording on.